Hello, everyone. I'm Samantha Dutton, and I'm Associate Dean of Social Sciences at the University of Phoenix. And I'm here to talk today about missed milestones. And you might be wondering, why would I have to listen to someone speak about missed milestones, especially this Samantha Dutton girl? Well, I wanted to say about a previous life I had was within the military. I served over 20 years, and let me tell you, I've missed a lot of milestones in those days. Um, I can't even remember all of them. They just become part of the landscape that I was living in. But this is different. This is not something you signed up for. This was not you raised your hands that I would give up these things. And so it's a different kind of reality that we're living in. So I want to just talk a little bit about some things that you can do and some things to be able to think about as we get through this pandemic together and we work towards a healthy and safe future for all of us. So I hope that some of these ideas will help and that you can utilize them in your everyday life to help with these circumstances that we find ourselves. So let's get started on what we can do about missing these events. And for sure we are. I can look on any social media page, I can look on any television station, and people are talking about missing these big events. And my heart, some of those are real tear jerkers, and my heart just hurts for them. And we are missing them. Weddings, birthdays, graduations, recitals, anniversaries. I mean, the list goes on and on. And we can't get back that exact moment, and we can't celebrate with our friends and our families and our loved ones, and we're just hanging on and wondering what's next and just getting through regular life. But in the meantime, these big events are coming and going, and we didn't get to participate. And what does that look like for the people out there who are self sheltering and quarantining, and how are we going to get through this together? Well, I'm hoping that this webinar will help with that and to offer some solutions with that and some comfort as well. I mean, it's a scary time, the scary times that we're living in. So here are my 10 ideas to help. The very first one, and I will say it's not the most important one because I saved that for number 10, but this is the second most important thing to do, is that you must grieve the loss. You get angry, you punch pillows. This is a normal reaction to what's happening. It sucks. It really sucks. And it's sad, and you should cry, and you should be angry, and you should be frustrated that you can't have what you've been waiting a very, very, very long time for. It might have been years of school, it might have been a long engagement, it might have been waiting to hit that 100th birthday mark. Of course, that's a long time, and having your family around to celebrate with you. It is a horrible, horrible situation. It's just not fun. And I would say that in my previous life as a military person, it sucks there too, but you kind of knew it was coming. You knew that it was going to happen. You didn't know this. You didn't see it coming. It is a complete shock, and you have to grieve the loss, because loss is not just death. Loss is when you lose something that you were expecting to get or expecting to have. You need to hang on to that and grieve that loss. Get angry. It's okay, because you should. If I had a child that was graduating from high school or college this year, I it would be horrible. I would be upset as well. The second thing is that it sucks for everyone. Unlike anything in recent history, it's impacting the entire world. The entire world. It's not just your town, your county, your state, your part of the country, your country. It is the entire world. Everyone's missing every milestone during this time. So I just wonder, in 10 years from now, when we go back to look at our social media, and we're not going to see graduation photos or wedding photos, we're not going to see them. We're just not. So, we have to be able to think about how we're going to get through this crisis together, because obviously no one is doing any of these things. The third thing is that you should look towards your friends and your family for support. Most likely, if the milestone was important to you, it was important to them. So they are upset, they are sad, they're there to support you, you support each other. You come together as a family and your loved ones, even if you're not in the same room, you can still have the telephone conversation or the FaceTime conversation and have a and talk through those things. They're sad as well. They wanted you to have that big moment too. The fourth thing is there a way to reschedule the event? If so, could you be part of the solution? It helps keep you active, that's for sure, because you're looking for a way to recognize the event so you can have that moment because you absolutely deserve all of it. You deserve to have the event. You earned the degree. You made it to the 100th birthday. You waited for the long engagement. That's all you. You still have those things. Is there another way to make that a special day? Which goes into my fifth example is there an alternative? Is there a social media or video conferencing that you could use? Is there a way to send those birthday wishes or to video a birthday for your grandparents to see? Is there a way to do those things? Once again, it goes back to being active towards an active solution instead of harboring on the loss that you have. What can you make from the loss that you are experiencing and make it good for your friends and family too? Because this is part of this is part of our culture. This is who we are as human beings, is that we celebrate these things. It is very important that we acknowledge that and that we move forward with that. And is there a way to reschedule or an alternative way to celebrate the moment that you deserve? You need to think through that, and that also keeps your mind active and not as sad about missing the event that you've been planning for many years. Let's move on to the other five ideas that I have. Going back to those fourth and fifth ideas about alternative plans and what could you do now, make sure they're realistic. Is it really realistic to plan if you were going to get married in May? Is it okay to get married in June? Do you think it's going to be okay to schedule that event? Will we be safe and healthy to travel and to make those connections? Is that realistic? I'm not saying it's not, but these are the questions you need to ask yourself. Will your grandparents be able to travel for that? Will your small children be able to travel for that? Will it be safe then? Make them realistic. Is it realistic to wait another year? Maybe it's not. Maybe you can't get the same venue that you had last for your wedding, and you have to pick an alternative venue. So be realistic in your plans and manage expectations surrounding that. Um, the seventh thing I would say is remember that you're really giving something up for the common good. It is admirable, something to hang your hat on. You, by not having your wedding or the birthday party or the celebration that you were planning, you are saving lives. There is no doubt about it. You are not spreading the virus. You are not coming in contact with people who could spread the virus. You are making a difference in the world. I cannot reiterate this enough. Staying home and doing the right thing is admirable, even if you're missing that milestone, because you are saving lives, and there's nothing better than that. Saving a life out there, even it might not even be someone you know. It could be the caterer's grandmother who didn't get the virus because you didn't have the celebration. Think about it like that. So it's admirable that you're doing this. The eighth thing I would say is that to do something on, quote unquote, that day, even if it's small, acknowledge the day. Toast yourself with your favorite beverage, or maybe go out and sit on your porch, or sit on your couch and FaceTime someone, video conferencing somebody and talking about it, or having a celebration with the people that you're sheltering in place with. Maybe you can walk, across that stage and someone hands you a diploma and people are cheering for you. You still should acknowledge the day because it is very important. Part of that culture, part of the culture that we live in the United States, and being part of the human race, is that we have these milestones and we have made them important in our lives. This is why it hurts so bad, because they're so important. So do something on that day that it would have been. That's the day that would have been the celebration, and then go back to those other ideas of alternative plans and making realistic plans for another celebration. Number 9, manage your feelings. They are real and they are normal. There are likely to be a wide range of feelings to the crisis, Grief doesn't have a normal pathway, and normal, I'm using air quotes here, normal is not, there's no normal grief process. I would say the only thing that you shouldn't be doing during grief is drinking too much, shopping too much, smoking too much. I'll say my husband's thing is shopping too much. So he has an unhealthy, the amount of packages that come here on any given day is scary to me sometimes. However, back to managing your feelings. The grief process, one day you could be sad, the next day you're frustrated, the next day you're like, you're crying, the next day you're angry, I mean, it could be a multitude and they could all come in different waves. So just know that those are normal feelings. That's what happens when you're in a grief process. And there's no time limit. You might be sad for a very long time. You might be sad for a very short time. It depends on how much that celebration was important to you, how deep it ran into your soul. Those are the things that dictate how long and how deep grief goes, and it's all normal. If you start doing any of the things I mentioned, the too much of shopping, smoking, drinking, eating, that's the time to reach out for some professional help. But otherwise, grief is what it is, grief. You have to go through the stages and the stages will change on you. So just hang on for the ride and you will get to the other side and you will be happy, healthy, and safe on the other side of this. 10th, and then finally, the very most important thing is to be kind to yourself. It's not your fault that this happened. It's not anyone's fault that it happened. This is the situation that we're in. Be kind to yourself. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay if you're angry. It's okay if you celebrate later. It's okay if you're sad. It's okay because it is a normal human reaction. You reacting that way means that you are human and that's who you are. It's okay. Reach out to your friends, your family, your loved ones, and together we'll get through it. And together we will soar. And I hope everyone stays healthy, happy, and safe. And thank you for listening to my webinar today. Thank you.